working title for my film is The Case of the Silent Psychopath. I don't really like the title that much, but I couldn't think of anything to suit it at this time. The genre I've chosen for the film is crime, because it's going to be involvement with police, like what my media studies video was like, because I find it's not too hard to do, because it's not a lot of action that needs to be used, and it's like the props aren't hard to get hold of. And it's like, because there's involvement of there's a murder and there's suspects and victims, it's like crime is what suits it best. The main character is going to be Detective Terence Parker, who will be played by me. Supporting character is Jack Cooper, who I haven't got anyone to play yet, but I've got an idea of who I want to. Captain Peter Williams is the homicide captain, who will be portrayed by Carl Kidder. And I've got the two victims, one who's going to have actually got someone who is going to be a dead body, and I've got someone who will be mentioned. They haven't got any people to play them yet. So the film is mainly about a group of murders that occur in similar ways and all close together in the same place as well. So, so before the introduction of my main character, two of the murders would have already occurred, and he's been hired to try and find out who the murderer is, because it's difficult for them to do it, so they get an expert in. Whilst he is in the job, and further 6 murders occur, which makes his job a lot harder. And there are never any witnesses to any of the murders, and where they all happen in areas close to each other, there's not much difference between them, and only they have to be solved purely by the evidence left at each crime scene. The location I've chosen is Lower Howstow in Kent, which is very close to where I live, and it is where I used to live. And it's very rural, so it's going to help with my idea. And to show the captain's office, I plan to use the parent-teacher room in the reception of the school. Terence is motivated to solve the murders because he's had a member of his family who was previously murdered, and they never found who the killer was, and he wants to try and solve these murders so the families don't feel how he did. And Jack is pushing himself to show his mentor that he can be a good detective and he is worth it to partner him during this job. The events will occur in present day in either late winter or early spring, and the events that will occur in the sequence will occur on the same day. The beginning of it will be in midday and the rest in the early afternoon. There'll be a lot of conflict between police and obviously the suspects, the murderer or the murderer. The police also, and the victims, and the murderer and the victims. I haven't written it down, but there will be conflict between Jack and Terence because they don't get along in the beginning, but we'll learn to. The main audience I've chosen is people between the ages of 18 and 30, preferably people in the mid-20s, because it's not anything that will appeal to younger audiences because there's not a lot of action and special effects. Key market features I'm aiming to use, I'm going to try and improve on my camera skills and use a lot more to show the suspense of the film, and I need to try and incorporate some sound and music that will help with the atmosphere of the film as well and with performance. That's it.
Okay, questions?
I think it'd be quite hard to show all that in 2 minutes.
I'm not showing all of it, it's a sequence.
Oh.
I plan to do more than 2 minutes, but I'm going to choose 2 minutes out of the sequence that I think will be perfect for it.
Because there are quite a lot of murders there, aren't there? So
I'm not going to show all the murders in the sequence, there'll be one, because it's a sequence of a proper film, it's just going to...
okay.
How are you planning on showing Terence's motivation?
Not sure yet. It's where performance have to come into it. Do drama, so should be able to.
Do you mean in terms of what happened in the past?
Yeah.
Is there going to be a flashback or anything like that?
Yeah, how are you going to show his past and his family members?
So basically his backstory.
I'll probably mention it in there, but I don't know how I'm going to show it yet, but I need to show it something.
How are you going to get hold of all the props and
Props is not really a lot of props I'm going to need, because it's and what I need I've got, so.
But for both you and Keegan, obviously, so working on your own, one of the problems is you need extra actors. Have you thought about people that you're going to get involved?
I have asked a few people to appear in it, and I have thought of some people, yeah. But
yeah. Have you thought about some people?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyone else? We haven't been for some American films now, and obviously you originally intended on it being sort of an American film. You've done away with that now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So one thing you need to make sure is you take away the American sort of words, and because you had homicide in there, didn't you? And in terms of people, sort of, you had a detective rather than a captain or whatever. Although you did detectives in America, I think you have captain as well.
There was a captain who's going to be mainly the office manager. And
Okay, any more questions from you guys over there? No? Definitely something for you sort of just getting everything into it. But I think it's quite an interesting idea, that one. I like that one. Okay.